All right, we're about to get started here in Chicago. Appreciate everybody who's joining remotely and everybody that's here. We're going to figure out if the mic sounds good. I don't know if the mic sounds good on Zoom. It may be easier if I just speak. We got some chat here. You guys let me know in the chat if it sounds all right. And if not, I'll lose the mic because it might not need it. And yeah, Twin Raptors, we're going to record this session. We're recording this session, so it doesn't sound good. Doesn't sound good. So I'm going to turn that off. And I'm just going to project in the gallery through my N95 mask. We'll get things started in about a minute. Yeah, better out the mic. Gotcha, guys. Gotcha. And yeah, Twin Raptors, we are recording. So when we're done with this, let's give one more look here. Wonderful audience. As we continue to evolve this concept of community night, where we do some educational stuff, where we also do some stream and some Zoom. We're going to have some other camera angles that we can also have on the Zoom so you can really feel like you're here with us in person. A lot of you have been with our metaverse events and stuff that we've done in the past. Creates this really cool kind of hybrid physical digital concept here. So what I'm going to do is we can get this started at 7:30. Oh, the sound's cutting out. That's a problem. Keep letting me know if you guys are having any issues. And I should probably I'll just try to keep speaking up and let me know if you guys have any issues on your side. Cuts when you move the computer. Got it. So I will leave it there and appreciate it. What's up, Monica? Appreciate you guys. Don't be bashful. You can go on camera. Don't be bashful. I'm gonna share my screen here. Host disabled participant screen sharing. That is not the message that we want to see right out the gate. So let's do a little bit of stalling as I log into here and figure this out. So here, the account that I logged into, I think was not the host account. And now I have to be able to enable screen sharing. You really hate to see it. Sign in. All right, so we'll take care of this right now. I'm at it on imnotArt. All right. Art.com. All right, let's get this here. 1 second, guys. Appreciate you hanging with us. Let me get this here. All right, signing in. Let's see. All right, almost there, guys. Thanks for holding on. Nick, do you want to go on camera and talk to people about what we're doing tonight? Perfect.
No bullying me for my camera quality. No bullying. So tonight we're just going to go through the demo portion of creating
I muted.
We're going to go through the demo portion of the Manifold contract and creating a Manifold contract, going through some of the features you can add, just taking it end to end, seeing what the, sorry for looking like such a creep in this, kind of seeing what the gas fees look like at current rates, so we kind of figure out, what it would look like if it was cheaper, what it would look like if it was more expensive, and just taking you through end to end, creating a manifold contract. For those who've done it, you probably know how easy it is. And for those who haven't, you'll see how easy it is. It's pretty foolproof. Let's see here.
Yeah, we were doing some experimentation on it before this. It was the first time I did it. It was literally like a couple hours before this, and I really loved it. I thought it was like just a really amazing kind of experience going through it, and I'm really excited to kind of share that with everybody right now. Trying to enable the screen sharing right here. Let's see if we can do that. What a nice way to start our first ever Zoom. Really good stuff. Let me try dropping out and then logging back in. Nick, tell him a little. Buy me a minute.
Can I buy you a minute by saying you want to unmute and let us hear what you're playing over there? That's my best way of
No,
buying a
I'm
minute.
still learning scale, so absolutely not.
The free bird.
Yo, I saw someone was a guitarist. I'll buy you guys time.
All right, I think this should work. Yeah, now it is working for sure. I am the admin now. So feel free if you guys are having any issues with any audio or just winging it, love the vibes. Exactly. We're a vibe-centric company here, and a vibe-centric community. So I'm going to share my screen finally, and we'll get this started. And we're just going to go through the process of what it looks like when somebody wants to launch their own smart contract. So I am going to find the right, spoke too soon. Always a risk to share the whole screen here. Let's see, why is that window not show all windows? If you're like me, you have literally like 1,000 freaking windows open. Kidding me? All right, we're sharing the whole screen. So feel free to send me something inappropriate. Godspeed. Okay, so you guys should be able to see the whole screen, which is good, which it'll make it easier so you can see all my all the things that are actually no, it's just this. I'm going to stop this and then share it one more time, and then we're just not going to talk about this. And, you know, it's everything was smooth. Matt was great, and there were no issues. So here we are. You guys should be able to see my screen, and what I'm going to do first is I wanted to kind of look a little bit at the Manifold website before we go directly into kind of actually creating a smart contract on Manifold. So the Manifold website, Manifold enables Web3 creators to have true creative ownership, preserve on-chain provenance, and interoperate with all major NFT marketplaces. And if you were something inappropriate, nice try, Tippy, I changed it to window, so not a full screen. But we just had this amazing Twitter Spaces. We got to hear from 3 members of the Manifold team. And what they're trying to do is deliver on this concept to enable Web3 creators to have true ownership over their assets, create the most direct provenance, or the most direct kind of like connection between the artwork and the artist, and allow them to still participate across all the major NFT marketplaces. And we were talking about that just with White Lights, about how they're working right now manually with Foundation, but are working towards things to have that a bit more automated and at scale. And so Manifold doing some really awesome shit. The people that they're working with, kind of a big deal. A lot of really big people are launching their stuff with Manifold. Manifold has done an amazing job. You can see Jay-Z here, has done an amazing job partnering with amazing creatives, both kind of in the Web3 native space, like Pac, for example, and then also kind of newer people, entrants coming into the space. You can see also working with People Pleaser, Sacramento King. So it shows you kind of the breadth of and depth that Manifold types of creators and companies that they're now working with on their platform. And when you say platform, the creator is the platform. I love this line. I think there was like, Richard just kills it on Twitter, by the way. If you don't follow Richard, definitely advise you do. But they've created this concept where the creator is the platform. And Manifold is the Manifold creator allows artists to kind of create, everything that they need and have that extensibility, so that if they do want to do really interesting things with their NFTs, that they can. To the point where I'm excited to learn about what all those extensions are. It was something that came up in Spaces, that there's a lot of cool things you can do. Can you guys hear me back there too? You guys good? All right, perfect. I realized I was just staring into my screen. I got all, we got the physical as well. I got to do it all. So, and you guys can see my screen up there too, right? Oh, this is working great. So, scrolling down kind of the rest of the thing, fuck Crystal, pretty big in the space. Manifold Studio is what we're going to be talking through today. And what it does is it allows you to create a Manifold creator contract, which up to a couple weeks ago wasn't available for the general public. It was only available if you had a connection, or if you were part of their ecosystem from when they first started. And it's really a huge moment in kind of Web3 in terms of being a creator, when Manifold kind of opened the floodgates, or allowed kind of any creator to come in and do it. And so you launch the app and you kind of go through those instructions, and it says a seamless user interface to mint your own NFTs with zero coding required. And that's the big thing. We talked, there's not a lot of overlap between people that have like, that are creating like art, and people that have like Solidity knowledge or background. Very small sliver of people kind of are in that kind of Venn diagram. And a lot of them are probably like the generative artists or those type. But there's really, it's you can't expect somebody who's a creative to be able to pick up and learn how to launch their own smart contract. And now you have Manifold entering and saying, hey, we're going to put an interface on top of this and allow you to mint your own high quality NFTs while still retaining true ownership and provenance of your work. It comes from your own smart contract. There is no middleman. Manifold is empowering artists to launch their own stuff. And so it goes across contracts, tokens, extensions, royalties, analytics. And they're building like a full service kind of concept around how a artist can kind of mint from their own contract and then have options in terms of what they want to do it from there. And this is the truth. Our mission is to empower creators. And I think, is there a more like noble or kind of more genuine mission than that? Like they genuinely like want to build products and they think they can build a business around that where they're not taking any money for deploying the contract. Like we're going to do this contract. The only money that's taken is gas that's going to the Ethereum ecosystem. When I mint an NFT on their thing, they could have easily put something in that said, you know, of the royalties, which they're helping the artist manage and tell where to go. They could have easily said, slip me 1.5%. They could have said, slip me 2%. They could have said, let's do 2% and then let's drop everybody a token and then the token holders can regulate what that percent is. But they didn't, because their mission is to empower creators. What they did was they launched something with 0 fees because they believe there's other revenue streams and models, and there 100% are. It's something that imnotArt agrees with, rather than kind of like being a rent seeker or kind of an agent, if you will, of the creator. Like let the creator create, let the creator get all of their royalties. There's enough room for everybody to make sense. And as this is the beginning of this movement, let's set the tracks down right. Like let's not continue to create middlemen or people that are kind of like taking from creators in that way. And so that's why we were so excited about what they're doing here.
And Matt, if I could just add to that too.
Yeah.
They also are covering the cost of uploading the work to what was it again? It was Arweave. So not only that, but they're covering costs that usually would get sent back to the artist. So that's even if that goes forever, I'm not sure, but you know, as they take on feedback and as they kind of get started, they are covering the cost of that, which is, you know, if anyone's paid for that or it's a nice little luxury they're providing.
So what you're saying.
So we had a question here that are they covering the cost of the storage, which yes, right now too. And that storage system is different than what you see most often. Like we said in our Twitter spaces, you know, we've always had conversations here at imnotArt about, you know, who's going to be the first huge project that really took off that stops paying the bills on their IPFS and then lights go out. And so this is one of those ways where this is a great way of assuring that those lights never go out.
Yeah, it's something that we've asked each other all the time, like what's going to happen right when this doesn't work. And so we're really glad that their team was able to address that during our spaces today and kind of explain how they were doing it, which we thought was really kind of an interesting solution. And then also fronting the cost for that stuff, I thought was really great. We're getting a bunch of pull-up requests in our Discord. So anybody that's listening virtually and physically, we have physical codes to hand out as well. So if you haven't got your pull-up, don't worry. We will get that to you. Just put a request down there. We got Mama T who's looking at that, and then in person, just connect with Neckbeard if you want to make sure that you get your pull-up code. So I'm going to continue on with the demo here. I'm going to hit Launch App, and I'm going to go to studio.manifold.xyz. As with anything that you connect your wallet to, you have to be hyper vigilant, right, in terms of what you're willing to connect to in this space. And in general, I don't know if it was DC Investor said it, but somebody really smart said, by default, you should assume every site that asks you to connect your wallet is a scam, right? So even if I've been to this thing 100 times, even if I had a bookmark that was going there, like I would want to make sure, I would look at the URL, I would see this, and you need to do just some checks to make sure that you are at a legitimate thing. What you don't want to do is Google for your platform to something to connect to. Google can lead you to bad places because people take advantage of the paid search element. They can also get advantage in SEO. So I would just always be really careful. So I went directly from the Manifold site, which again, doesn't necessarily mean it's the right one, but looking at kind of at this and this, I feel comfortable that I can connect. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to log into my wallet. I think I might already be logged in. I'm not our buyer. let me go to my Matt account here. I'm not Matt.eth. Okay. I have a couple accounts. Yeah, you know, I got a couple accounts. Yeah. So this is, I'm actually the Ricky, so I'm going to go back to Ethereum so that we're starting it here, right? So I'm in the Ethereum account. Here's my MetaMask. I just minted some Zora orbs. I hope that you guys did too. We minted a couple extras so we can give them for like giveaways and stuff like that because I can't can't help myself. So we're going to go back down to Connect Wallet. So I'm already logged into MetaMask. If I wasn't, when I hit this, oh, don't be like that, not now. Let's refresh the page. Always a good sign. Always a good sign when the demo, you Connect Wallet. There we go. So it triggers something. Now, if I wasn't logged in, it would ask me for my password. It's not asking for my secret key. It's asking me for my password to my MetaMask. So I'm already logged in. It's going to ask me to just do a signature, right? This is a gas-free transaction. I'm just signing from my account saying that this is me and I want to log in here. So I'm going to hit sign in and then I'm logged in. So I'm not Matt. And so it immediately goes to a sign up page and some info like this. All right, I'm down. So what's my name? I'm not Matt. What's my email? Matt@imnotArt.com. And then this is important, ASCII art signature. Anybody know what ASCII actually stands for? Put it out here in chat. Anybody here? I don't know. I'm sure somebody knows. It's a good trivia question. I know that it's using letters and numbers to create words. And so if I open up a new tab here and I start ASCII a text generator, right? Because I want to create something cool. And let's say I go to this one here, and I want text. I'm not Matt. I like this one. Boom. That's sick. No? They got a bunch of options. I'm gonna go with this one. So there's a couple different like ASCII text art things. Probably be a little bit more diligent than just Googling and picking the first thing like I did. But that's what I did, and that's how I roll. So I'm gonna paste this in here, and that is gonna be my ASCII stuff. And then can I add anything else in here? Oh, let's see. This is going into the header of my contract, I imagine. And I was going to see if there was a way I could, yeah. It's created live at imnotArt Chicago on 1/4/2022, and then that will be forever in my contract. Anybody else have anything here? Maybe I'll write everybody's name down so you're part of it. No, just kidding. Okay, so my Twitter handle is imnot_eth, which is it was a bad decision to change my name to that, but that's where we're at. So I'm gonna hit submit, and this is the starting of it. So it says, thanks for signing up. We sent you a verification link. Let me go verify that on my phone. So you thought my MetaMask was ugly. I'll spare you what my Gmail looks like. So I'm just going to verify that on my phone here. I got an email, welcome to Manifold Studio. I can click this and it should, thanks for confirming. So now I assume when I upload or I refresh this right here, it will know that I've confirmed and I'm ready to go. And it is ready for your first contract. That couldn't be more straightforward. There's nothing I can click here really that would, where I can fuck this up. So again, I'm not a developer. We do have developers here, but we thought it'd be good if I went through the demo because more people can relate probably to my experience, not knowing what I'm doing. So start new contract. All right, contract name. Look, it brings in my ASCII art. Very cool. So the contract name is going to be the I'm not Matt contract. The token symbol is going to be I'm not Matt. The ASCII mark says this, created live at imnotArt Chicago on 1/4/22. Beautiful. And then it looks like the next step is deploy to testnet. It's as simple as that. Like that is remarkably easy. Oh, looks like I missed something up here. So there's an option whether you want to launch a 721 contract or an 1155 contract. Nick, do you want to fill us in with the difference of those two things?
Yeah, from my understanding, the best way of thinking about that is for more one-of-one style things, 721. For larger number projects, 1155. That's just the basic of it.
Awesome. Also, big shout out to Samantha Jordan. I didn't see that in the chat, but ASCII stands for American Standard Code for Information Exchange. That's a really good trivia question. Good stuff. And so this again is the text here, which is pretty common in the top of kind of smart contracts to have some sort of like ASCII style art, which is why they do it like this. And so for this case, I want to do a 721. I want to make an NFT that doesn't have like a certain number behind it, like ERC 1155 allows you to make the same asset and 1,000 copies of it and deploy it in a different format that can kind of like improve gas costs for people that are trying to mint it, rather than each one individually being a 721. You'd have one 1155 that had X amount of versions of it. And so I want to do a 721 because I'm all about one of one NFTs. As this is going on, feel free to keep asking questions in the chat. Next, monitoring it. I'm looking at it from time to time, and we appreciate you guys interacting with us there. So I'm going to launch a 721. It's going to be the imnotArt contract. imnotArt is going to be the token ticker, and imnotArt, this is my ASCII stuff here. So without further ado, I am going to deploy to testnet. So it says, please switch your network to Rinkeby test network to deploy the contract. Now, what I love about this is that Manifold is forcing me to deploy something to Rinkeby, which I've never seen before. Like a lot of these things, they're like, you're on mainnet, like good fucking luck. Like this, they're actually making me test it, which does add a little bit of complexity because you're going to need some Rinkeby ETH. So what Rinkeby is a test network that you can basically use before you deploy and spend all your gas to the main network. So looks like Manifold very in a nice way prompts me saying, hey, you need to switch to Rinkeby. And then it pops up a MetaMask notification that says, allow this site to switch to the network. So it's switching to Rinkeby. I am okay with that. I will switch the network. Now, when you're in MetaMask, so I'll open this here. If you ever want to change networks, it's a thing at the top. So here's all the networks that I can connect to, including Matic, if I want to do that. But now it's on Rinkeby. And so that prompt automatically changed me from mainnet to Rinkeby. And so the amount that you have in Ethereum and Rinkeby, make sure you know which network that you're working on. So always be checking here to remember where you're at. So going back here, I see this, and it says compiling contract. That just finished, ready to deploy, deploying contract. So it looks like once you submit that, the backend processes are taking a little bit of time. And then now I'm sending Rinkeby ETH. This is not real ETH. And Rinkeby, if you need to get Rinkeby ETH, there's faucets that you can get them from. Zach, I don't know if you have a preferred way that people should get Rinkeby or a recommendation or anybody on here. If you
way
have
ahead of you, Chief.
Yeah. So Zach's going to figure out where people can get Rinkeby ETH. Zach sent me some earlier. So I have, if you look at my wallet, I had 0.25 Rinkeby ETH. Looks like it's a very, very small amount of Rinkeby. So we can distribute some Rinkeby 2 to people if they need it. And I'm going to confirm this transaction. So what this is doing is it's deploying my Manifold Creator smart contract directly to the blockchain. And because it's on Rinkeby, it processes really fast, right? So I can review it on, review on Etherscan probably means it's still pending. So let me see if it's still pending. This is looking at the block explorer. So interesting. Looks like we have to wait a second, so it must still be processing. Let's see here. Internal transaction. Content creation, indexing. So this is the actual transaction. For some reason, it put me at like my address. So I'm looking at the transaction. It's waiting to be processed right now in Rinkeby. I don't know if there were some ways that I could have upped the gas in like my Rinkeby transaction. I'll just leave it like this. It'll go through. Yeah. So we'll keep refreshing. And in the next, I'd be shocked if this took more than a minute or two. So we'll keep waiting. Oh, there it is. So Rinkeby, it confirmed the transaction. So what this transaction was a contract creation transaction. It was from this address, which is my Ethereum address. I'm not mat.eth. Now, this is the same address that I use for the mainnet, as the testnet, as the layer, as Matic. So this is my address. It was from here. And what I did was I deployed on the mainnet this contract in this block here. And so if I want to actually click on the contract, I can click here. Which is cool now is that we're actually now looking at Etherscan, even before we look at what Manifold is about to show us and the tooling there. This is a way to check it. If I hit contract, it looks like we have to verify and publish this. So maybe that's a process that we go there, because that's where we'll see that ASCII art. You just gotta wait. You have to verify and publish. So I'm back here on Manifold. It's preparing contract for verification. So that's the process that it's doing right now. And on the Zoom call, we were talking and White Lights was explaining that, by default, when things are applied, you don't always necessarily get to see like the code here. It needs to go through the verification process. So looks like that's the step that the test network is going through now. And again, this is just a test, verifying contract. There we go. When all this is done, I'm excited to see what Manifold prompts me to do to review it, because what they're trying to do here is say, before you launch it to mainnet, which is likely is not going to be cheap considering where gas is right now. And speaking of that, I can go look at our favorite gas thing. Nick told us about this one. It's txstreet.com. And it's a really cool way to kind of visualize what the gas prices are at the moment. Under 100, looks rare. So this isn't a terrible time to mint it. It's pretty cool. It shows you kind of what the cost is per block of gas. And then it can show you kind of where the transactions in a cool visual way as well. So I'm going to go back to the Manifold Studio, verified. So now if I go back here, I think if I refresh this, it's probably verified now. If I hit contract, it's got the green check mark. Fuck yeah. I can scroll down. Here is my smart contract. This is the code. So Manifold took my inputs, which were very, very simple. It was just the name of the contract, the token of the contract, and the ASCII that they put at the top. So here, this is my contract. And in my contract, I have my art, totally worth the extra gas. And then here's all the other portions of the contract as it's deployed. And so what it allows is someone like me, who looks at this like another language in a way, to be able to deploy something like this and ultimately then have a UI to be able to mint stuff from it in a really cool way. So again, the contract name is imnotArt. If we go to, I guess there's no tokens yet, so you can't look at the token tracker. But we'll make a token because we're minting shit tonight. It's gonna be fun. So going back in here, verified, review on Etherscan. We don't need to, we did it. Now you can redeploy to testnet or finalize. I don't know why you would necessarily redeploy to testnet. Oh, that's why. Oh, did that just reset everything? Oh no. Oh no. Not like this. Did you see that, Nick? I literally typed 2 letters here and then it's no longer letting me deploy what I had before because it's treating it as like an addition, an edit. So I need to deploy to testnet again.
Well, yeah, just redeploy it, but it's a feature, not a bug. It's a
feature, not a bug. So they know that when you do that, right? So they're making you go through testnet. So this might take another couple minutes here, but we'll go through the process again. So I'm submitting it. I assume that it's going to trigger like a transaction, right? Let's say. Do we find a bug? Why? When it need more ETH for me? This must be it here. Yeah, deploying contract. So now it's asking again. This is what I was waiting for, which was the second transaction. So now we're repeating the process. What happened was I changed some of the text here in my header, my ASCII mark, and then it automatically said you can't deploy anymore. You have to re-put it to testnet, which is interesting. So I'm going to confirm here, and this is going to go through again. So far so easy. Like I go to studio.manifold.xyz, I connect my wallet like we normally do to other stuff, and then I just keep kind of going through the process as described. So now we're waiting on the transaction just got confirmed at Rinkeby. Now it's going through the verification process. This took about a minute last time. And so there's my MetaMask coming up saying that it was accepted. I can review on Etherscan again. This is a different contract than this one. Notice that the contract address of this one we just did 26 seconds ago is different than the one 3 minutes ago because it's deploying a whole new contract. And because this is on the Rinkeby test network, it doesn't actually cost anything more. So there's no issues with that. Now, if I go to the contract, looks like it is verified now. So sorry for the feedback of the thing. So this should say that it's been verified because I'm actually looking at Etherscan and it has. So this should update to say it's been verified, and then it goes through the final process that allows me to kind of review and finalize, which I'm excited to see what that looks like. So we'll give it another 30 seconds to finish up here, and then we will go through the next portion of this. Nick, you have anything to add as we're waiting for this to finish?
Oh, sorry. I kind of wasn't paying attention. I was getting more codes for the POAP.
No, that's good. That's more important. We got to get those pull-up codes. We're distributing here physically in the gallery. Then we've got that channel in Discord if anyone wants to join.
No, right now, Saint,
wow.
right now, this is strictly on Rinkeby testnet. So this is free Ethereum, if you want to call it that. You can get it from faucets. It's not real Ethereum. This is just testnet stuff to kind of go through the motions and make sure that the contract looks good. And then once this is done, you'll see, and it did take a little bit. Actually, it took Matt less time than it took me originally. But on the next step here, you'll see that the next option is going to be to deploy to mainnet once we add some tokens and stuff. But as of right now, all testnet.
Yeah, so if you guys could hear what Next said, he's going to distribute something that kind of looks at all the links that we're talking about from TX Street. I think I might actually want to reset this again because for some reason, like when we deployed it to testnet, it's giving me like a similar match code error to something else. And this should definitely, oh no, now I take it back, it works, finally. Whew, thank God I didn't reset that. So this is verified. Now we can redeploy to testnet, which we don't want to do, we technically just did, or we can review and finalize. So I'm ready to review and finalize because I can review on Etherscan. I can make sure that everything looks good from a contract standpoint in terms of my ASCII art, most important piece. And then I can say, okay, let's review and finalize. So really clean UI. I love how they do this. I'm not Matt, ERC 721. The token symbol is I'm not Matt, and I'm not Matt. Created live at imnotArt Chicago on 1/4/22. So I'm going to confirm this. And now deploy your contract. This will permanently store your contract in the Ethereum blockchain. The name, symbol, type, and ASCII artwork cannot be changed after this. Something that came up on the Twitter Spaces was once you deploy, like what can you then do? Like what kind of extensions can you do? Now there are certain things that you'll be able to do, and there's certain things you can't. So what this is saying is that there are certain hard-coded things that you can never change. Any asset, any 721 NFT or asset that is minted from this contract will have the token symbol of I'm not Matt. You can't ever change that. You can't go in and edit that. The name of the contract will forever be I'm not Matt, written like that. And so that is what it is, and I'm good with it. So I'm going to confirm, and now it's going to tell me to change some mainnet. I really loved how the UI is working, right? So MetaMask comes up, says, hey, you're in Rinkeby. Do you want to go to this network, the Ethereum mainnet? Yes, I'm good. I'm switching network. So now that I'm switching the network, it's getting ready. So it checked the network, checked. Now it's compiling the contract. So in the back end, it's doing that process that I did for the test contract. It's packaging and getting all this stuff ready to go. It's looking at the variables I gave them. Pretty much these 4 variables. Only 4 variables are needed. That's incredible. And then this is the gas fee to mint it right now. So yeah, YOLO. Yeah, you cool with that? Permission? Okay. 85, great, that's not bad.
No, because you could add tokens first. So
wait, you're gonna add tokens where?
Yeah. Here, let me give me your computer.
So go back.
Back? That sounds like a bad idea.
Well, then make a new window.
That sounds like a bad idea. All right, then go to Manifold. Yeah. What's up, Joe? Okay. Here? Yeah.
Your contract.
Oh, I can hit this tokens?
Oh, yeah.
How did I get here? Now I'm confused.
Because you hit the back. I also was confused the first time I did it.
But it doesn't seem like they want you to do this, right? If it's going through the flow, like I never gave any of the options. I'm a simple man. I almost want to just deploy simply.
Do it.
Let's do it.
We'll test it together.
We'll test it this way. So let's just go the way that the UI is telling us. It looks like there's some extra functionality when it's done. That cost me $20. Time is money. Let's go. I'm gonna find out. I don't know exactly. Yeah, I don't know. There seem like a couple options there. So we're gonna find that out. So I've got my contract deployment thing here, and it worked. That was quick. I wish everything on Ethereum was like that. I guess if you're willing to pay it, it is. But so let's look. This should have confirmed. Yep. So it took 38 seconds, or it confirmed 38 seconds ago. Ended up being $150 because gas like spiked at the end, and there must have been a thing. So that's what it cost me to launch my contract. And here's we were just looking at this ledger for Rinkeby, the test. Here's the real one, right? Transaction hash, the block this has been. This is real shit. I am now linked to this contract, and this contract is now linked to me immutably for the history of the blockchain, or Ethereum at least. So I hit contract. It's probably going through that same verification process right now, I assume, similar to what happened last time. So I'm going to click back to this. Yeah, preparing contract for verification. This can take a few minutes. So I'm still at this stage here, and I'm waiting. And then it's going to let me know when that's all set. And then I assume I'm going to go to this other screen where we can add tokens that we were just talking through. So let's just give this a couple minutes to verify. But this so far has been incredibly easy. Like I've literally provided 4 inputs: contract name, token type, token symbol, and ASCII mark. And with that, it's able to take that and then deploy my contract. So I'm going to go over here and then see. I'll click on view on Etherscan. See what's going on. Go to contracts. Still verifying it. I don't know what the latency time is, or why it takes time, or how exactly that works, or what's happening in the back end. But I know it's big brain stuff for sure. With stuff way over my head. So I'm still waiting. That's cool. It says it can take a few minutes. And then from there, what we're going to do, the next step is we're going to mint a token from this contract. So I should probably start thinking about what I want to mint. What are we thinking of? We got some ideas. Video. Mint. You know what? I'm gonna mint a picture exact. Yes. Thank you. All right. So we're gonna do this right here. Let's go like this. All right, we're doing this on the blockchain today. All right, this is good. All right, 1, 2, 3, hit from your own smart contract. All right, good stuff. All right, and so let's go back here and then let's see if this updates. So in the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at this amazing photo that we took here together, and oh my God, I look okay. It is what it is. Let's make it immutable. You know what I mean? That's like one thing, like when your family like, oh, delete that photo. It's like, oh, let's make this photo immutable, especially because we're using Manifold, which uses Arweave, right? So yeah, no IPFS lights turning off today. So we're waiting for this. Contract is deployed. I'm excited. What I'm also going to do is I am going to email this photo to myself, and we will go from there. Mint this now, subject line. Mint this. All right. Actual size. Boom. So let's see here. Ooh, set royalties. That's what I'm all about that. So home set royalties or view Etherscan. I am setting royalties. That's where I would click. Hell yeah, there we go. So set royalties. Default royalties. Sets default royalties for all tokens minted with this contract and can be updated at every time. Royalty percentages are saved to the blockchain and can be split between as many accounts as you like. That was a question that came up on the spaces, was how can you do that? And from a royalty perspective, it's very clear you can. You can say this contract, and can it be tied to specific tokens? I don't know, we'll find out. So on OpenSea, you must fill out the royalties field in your collection settings to receive royalties from OpenSea. They do not respect on-chain royalties yet. That seems like a little shade, and I like it. Your OpenSea royalties cannot be set until you minted one token. Your on-chain royalties configuration is. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to say who gets the royalties, and I'm going to copy my address here. So
Feel free to toss mine in there.
no, you're good. So I'm going to copy this. Yeah, feel free.
I believe this is a
Send yours in
contract
chat.
level.
We'll add you.
Matt, I believe this
more
is
than
a
one?
contract level royalties.
This is my yes too.
No, I think it's asking you for a 0x address. I don't know if this supports ENS yet.
That's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be a good
another one. Yeah, it's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna do it simple for one right now, just because I don't have any other addresses. But I guess we could try it. I don't want to create any more. Let's try neckbeard.e. Let's see if it likes that. Yeah, it doesn't like it. So what I'll do is I'll go, or Nick, do you have your address? You can just send me on like Slack or Discord. Yeah. Can you repeat your address, please? We need your address. If you want to send it to me on one of these things, I can add it and we can test something like that out. So let's say I'm feeling generous and I want to be like 10% seems to be kind of like the standard royalty overall. And so let's say Neckbeard's a true friend. I'm going to let him take a percentage of all my future income. It's in the Zoom chat. Okay, so I'm going to grab Zach's from the Zoom chat, and it doesn't take ENS. So I'm going to put his full thing there. So I'm going to say 7.5 to me and 2.5 to my friend Nick. Save royalties. Boom. And then I hope I can change this at some point. It says you can change this. This can be updated at any time. So all good. So let's see here. $91. Time is money. You hate to see it, but it is what it is. Now the real kind of gas hunter would be looking more closely at kind of the gas stuff. You can see Manifold has a pretty cool thing right here. It's went from 112 to 87. Hopefully we get it in that block. But as people that have been kind of playing in the ecosystem, like 100 is not abnormal. Like today it was in the 200s and higher. If you go in off hours, like it happens in kind of the United States, it seems like overnight, we'll see gas dip. Like sometimes late at night, I see gas at like 50. And that can be significant savings. You think of minting as something at 50 versus at 120, that's significant savings. And this is not like, money that we're just like pissing around. This is a lot of money. And so until ETH really figures its shit out and everybody's minting on L1 like this, it's really important to kind of be tactful about when you do these things. And so this is saying saving royalty configuration to blockchain and then waiting. Oh, looks like there's more stuff here. Yes. It starts in gas. Yeah, it's pending right now. So I'm going to click this, then I can look at it pending. So that's what's good. If you ever have a transaction and you're wondering like what the fuck's going on, if you hit your MetaMask thing, you can click this and then you can look at the actual transaction, right? So I'm going to look at this on the Block Explorer, and then we can see kind of its estimates and how long this is going to take. So I definitely did pay enough because it thinks it should do that. What GUI did I have? 176 GUI. That is insane, considering the website was just telling me it was much lower. And I look here, it's 102. So this thing should have been processed yesterday. Let's see what the actual amount it takes. My guess is that it's going to be far less than 114 when this confirms, which I just got a browser notification it did. So I hit enter, and this is going to confirm in the next time I refresh here, I bet. Or maybe not. Let's see here. Did it confirm? I'm going to click here, look at my browser. That's a good sign. Oh, the computer. Yep, it works. So this should update. Like if I hit this, it's just a little bit of lag on Etherscan side or something because this says it's confirmed. So I'm going to go back down to Manifold in here, and it says royalty saved. So it worked. Now I'm going to approve an admin and a remoke an admin. So what I want to do is I want to allow Neckbeard to be an admin on my account, purely for demo purposes. Allow you to set a wallet address as an admin on your contract, which means it can perform actions on your contract, such as minting tokens, registering extensions, and sending royalties. So you only want to let people on this that you really trust. And I trust Neckbeard. How much is it going to cost me to add Neckbeard? And do I trust him that much? Yeah, $47, I'll trust him. Again, this is all part of the pain points of Ethereum right now, but it's worth it because I want to put my shit posts as NFTs. You know what I mean? So this is important. So that's going through. Waiting on that. I like that Manifold has a really great UI on the right, so it lets you know what's happening. It says saving admin configuration to blockchain. Please wait. It can take a few minutes. That link, does that go to Etherscan? I hope so. That's brilliant. It goes to the Etherscan transaction, right? So if I want to follow along at home, and it should happen quickly because we're paying with enough gas.
But I mean, quickly, Matt.
I'm sure, yeah.
Matt, one thing on that same adding an admin, it never got discussed in the Twitter spaces. I wanted to bring it up, but we were tight for time trying to get ready for the physical event. But one feature that I really liked that I saw in the documentation was transferring ownership. And so if people are like me, and they have a hardware, I hope they have a hardware wallet. If they have a hardware wallet or they have a multi-sig wallet, but it's just too much of a pain in the ass to deal with busting out the hardware wallet and connecting it to MetaMask, or the Gnosis safe. What you could do is you could transfer ownership. So you could do it all. You could do everything on your MetaMask, which it might be your cold wallet, and then afterwards you can transfer that to a Gnosis multi-sig or a hardware wallet to kind of make it a little bit more secure.
Going back off mute. Yeah, seeing really good questions here. We got a question in the gallery. Yep. Oh, so here, this was the transaction fee, $52. You're talking about that number here?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll hit enter. The gas that I put in was 141 for this one because it had spiked. This transaction has confirmed. So the actual transaction fee was $52. Yeah.
So we can expect it to be lower than
Yeah.
Sometimes very close to it. So essentially what happens is it looks at the contract and figures out like how much gas it's going to take to execute the transaction. But it might not take that much, depends on how much the cost gets in. But there could be like other things in the contract. But if you want to make sure you set that above, because if you set it below, then the transaction would down includes the gas.
Okay.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. And so I'm reading through some of the questions. Got some great questions in chat. Keep them coming. Wanted to address a couple things. So Russell asks, is there a reason why royalties can't be set before deploying the contract to mainnet to avoid paying gas twice? It's a really good question. I don't know if the royalties is actually a separate contract that it's interacting with the main contract. I know that is common. And so my guess is that you're actually writing that to something else. Because otherwise I agree 100%. Like, why can't you just kind of have that?
Even if you could store the value on a blockchain, so it would be basically the cost to deploy your contract would have cost about $50 more.
Okay, so
It's not going to save you that much every transaction. They go unemployed.
got it. So we've got Amnat Ormov here, one of our internal smart contract developers, and he's saying that it would probably cost the same amount. So maybe it wasn't because of efficiency. Maybe they did it because of UI, where they really wanted to simplify it. It's like 4 inputs, get your contract, and then you do that other stuff. Maybe they thought the cash savings wasn't significant enough to not go through the UI that way, which I thought was interesting. Justin was mentioning gas every step of the way. And yeah, I mean, I think with a lot of these applications, there's a lot of processes where you have to do that. A lot of them, they have first-time costs, setting up the contract is a one-time cost. But yeah, even when it comes down to all this other stuff, and we're going to be doing we're going to make sure that we're calculating how much we've spent. Adrian calling out that we spent around $200, which was more than I thought. We're also not doing it at an opportune time. Like, if I was really maximizing this, I wouldn't pay over 100 gwei for it. I would wait, because I know if I can be patient, and if this is 100 gwei or less, you could literally be paying half of what we're paying now, or even better if you're waiting. And so just trying to get an idea of kind of what it costs, just doing it now during the demo. One last question I wanted to call out. Somebody had a really good point about, like, well, how does this empower artists if like it costs so much, and like most people don't have this money to just throw around, right? Like, obviously people that are going this route, you're like investing in yourself, because you're like, I'm confident that when I do this and then I have to pay to mint the NFTs, I'm confident that these NFTs are going to sell, so I can make money from this. Otherwise, it's a lot of risk for an artist to go through this. And so I'd say in the stage we are now, before Manifold is ready on layer 2 networks or other networks, or Ethereum is able to kind of become more efficient, then it is kind of still a significant barrier for entry for people that are looking to use Manifold. This is literally kind of not outlawing, but it's ruling out like a vast majority of the world in terms of being able to use this. So I think it's important that we remember that like the people that are using this, yeah, it is, we're talking about it as this tool that's going to empower all artists and be able to really put the power and control of the creator. There's a lot of things already at play now that are limiting access towards something like this. You can't expect people to shell out $300 plus to mint, get their contract up and mint a single NFT. So that's a really close call, Adrian. But I do think that why I do agree that this is empowering the artists is that it is taking the power, away from any of these other networks or platforms and giving all the power to the artists. So although there's an economics issue right now in terms of accessibility, it really does fundamentally, I think, introduce this concept of artist-created smart contracts, which we think is going to be the standard going forward. So although not accessible to all, it's still really like significant barrier, despite how easy the UI is, despite how easy it is now. Like before Manifold, none of us, for the majority, without the exception of the coders, could do this. Now we can, but again, there's like limitations. And so I'm going to go back in here. I added Neckbeard as an admin. That should be done. Admin save.
And it's worth noting that depending on how you're going to roll them out, if you're just going to be making your one contract, you're not like Fuzzy Hat in the Twitter Spaces had mentioned. And for those who weren't there, I'll just rehash it for just a second here. There's the question is what if I have collections? What if I want to make collections? And my answer was kind of, you can make another contract to have it as a collection, and that way it shows up as its own collection on OpenSea and some of these other marketplaces that you that you might use. But if you're a photographer, or if you're just making not full on collections, this is going to be a one-time thing. You're creating your own smart contract that you could use forever and just build a massive portfolio under. And this is the one-time thing. If you wanted to be switching your royalties on the token level, yeah, that's probably going to cost another gas transaction. But if you're pretty set, and how often are the royalties going to change from the contract level where it's just blanket everything underneath that? Probably not too often. You'll probably have that in mind before you do this. Settle on a decent number, settle on who's going to be getting royalties. And so it's not like every single time you mint an NFT, you're going to have to be setting these royalties. When you have it at the contract level, everything underneath that is going to get those royalties unless you specify otherwise for on the token level. So the price is kind of unpalatable right now. And like others have said in the chat, we're quickly approaching a layer 2 ecosystem here, and we're in the early stage. So yeah, it sucks that it costs this much. That said, Matt's not doing himself any favors by not looking at TX Street and sneaking transactions in, but he's doing it for the sake of everyone's time. And it just so happens that gas is pretty expensive right now, so he's taking one for the team. And
it could be worse.
Yeah, definitely
could be worse for sure. I mean, like earlier today.
Another ththing to note though too is like this is deployed for forever, right? So if you were to set up a storefront and create your own server, you'd be paying $20 a month for that. If you have some sort of payment processing, you'd be taking 3% of your sales. There's no transaction fee for you to receive money once you sell it. For $200, we have something up that's going to be there for forever, with no maintenance, no updating software. Anybody's ever ran a server before, there's a lot of overhead involved in that as well.
Yeah, that's a great point. And to Ormov's point, like once it's up there, it's up there. You don't have to pay anything else. Like it is now.
Security holder, like Log4j comes out and you're updating your shit.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like overhead that you don't have to worry about.
Yeah.
Including such a, which is the most important thing to do with artists.
100%. So I've set all this stuff up. Admin saved. I've added Neckbeard and an admin. I've said I want 7.5% of royalties to me and 2.5% to Neckbeard. And it looks like the only option I have now is to kind of click this back button here because I'm in settings. So let's see where I'm at now. Now we're at this this thing here where it says live, right? So I've got the address of the contract, the type of the contract. Again, very simple, kind of the inputs that they've needed from me so far. I haven't done anything that's too interesting. It looks like down here, it looks like they cap it at 3 contracts per asset type, 721 and 1155. That's interesting. So I guess they're making it so people can't just abuse it, or if they did, they need to create whole new accounts and like, you know, something like that. So, yeah. Oh, you guys see that? That is bizarre. What's very strange is that it's not even displaying on my screen. Moff, can you take a look at this? I'm displaying the window, but I don't know why it's showing that over the window. It's like, look, I'm minimizing it. It's not even there. I didn't even realize that was up there. That's unfortunate.
Like casting up here?
No, I'm just sharing my window. It's kind of bizarre. What I can do is,
Can I click on can you click on?
yeah, what's weird is that it's not actually even appearing on my screen.
Maximize the screen, you just like set it so it's really this much. Yeah. Slide it over a little bit.
To the left, to the left.
Stage left.
No.
Stage right.
Stage right? It's nowhere. No.
Well, they fixed that. Let me answer a quick question. We have a question from
Yeah,
Adrian.
it's okay.
Hold on, Matt. We have a question from Adrian. I'm curious as to how we mint with these contracts and if they can be set so the minting cost is accrued by the buyer. So that is a feature, and what they call that is a lazy mint. And so what you can do is you can pretty much say, you know, the information is there, the picture is there, right? It's just not fully on the blockchain yet. And a lazy mint allows you to kind of bundle in that transaction of the actual minting and purchasing in all in one. So, you know, your buyer pays for it and you factor it in a bit. I hope that answers your question, but yeah, what they call that is a lazy mint.
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think when you're doing it on platforms like this, you're creating your own tokens, then it would be upfront cost that's paid for by the artist. Twin Raptors had a brilliant comment right after that stressing the importance of artists to kind of figure out a game plan, you know, before they go ahead and do their own contract, which I 100% agree with. Like if you're just getting into the space, you want to do a lot of research. Yeah. Oh, it's actually, yeah, I think it's on the mini. That can explain it. Yeah, good call.
I haven't seen the ability to lazy mint on
I think
Manifold yet.
what Twin Raptors is saying was brilliant, in that like you should, there's no reason to rush right into this, and we're not suggesting everybody go out immediately and create your own smart contract. That's the only way that you can do it. I think there's people that are still, you know, dipping their toes in the water, if you will, and OpenSea can be a really good solution for that, because it does what Neckbeard was saying, which is allow users to pass some of that the gas costs over to the buyer when it comes down to actually minting the token. And
then Jeff, did you have something to add to that?
Yeah, I was just saying that lazy minting isn't on Manifold as of now.
I thought I saw it in their documentation. Maybe that. Oh, you know what? You're right, because that's an extension that they're not fully supporting. So
yeah, that's what
you'd have to code. Right. Good input.
Yeah. Sorry,
yeah,
just
really
wanted to jump in and say that.
From Twin Raptors, I think next time we do one of these sessions, it would be awesome to have you up on the stage. We kind of came in right at the end as we were wrapping that up, so we didn't have time to kind of get to you. But I love what you just said. Tippy 5-star, Twin Raptors writes good. I agree with that, because it's a really smart thing that I think when you take a step back and you're talking to artists about how do you approach the space, like what's your next move? What do we recommend? I think it really starts with coming up with that game plan or strategy of figuring out how to, you know, how you want to approach things. And everybody's coming from different positions, and there's a bunch of different ways that you can kind of do it. So definitely agree with what he said there. Question coming in from David. So we create a contract with an upfront cost, but after that we don't have to spend gas. The main difference is we want to have a single piece or collection. So there is more gas to spend right now in terms of minting the NFTs that we want. So we're going to go through that process now, and whether you're minting single piece or when we see Matt pick on OpenSea. There you go, Tippy. I appreciate you. That's the next step. So going in here, I can zoom in a little bit too, maybe if it's too, the computer didn't like that. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click these buttons because I want to see what I can do. Etherscan, I assume, is going to take me to the Etherscan of the contracts, which it does. This is my contract address, ending in 401. The token tracker. That's cool. So there's no tokens have been minted yet, but I can look at it on mainnet, and there are 0 imnotArt tokens. So whoever gets this token, if somebody buys it, is going to get the first ever imnotArt token with a token ID of 0, I guess, because they didn't let me know if I wanted to make it 0 or 1. So I assume it'll be 0. Or maybe when I do the token, it'll tell me. So I click here. We already went through settings. Settings, again, was how you set royalties and admin and revoke admin. All those cost gas because you're deploying values that are stored on the blockchain. I'm going to click back. So I'm going to do the last option I have here, which is tokens. And this, I assume, is where I'm going to mint stuff. And now it's mocking. True. These tokens aren't going to mint themselves. Mint new token. Now it's going to go through the process of minting a token. This is the first time I've ever seen this UI or what it looks like. So we're all doing this in real time here. They have a max of 200 megabytes, which is interesting. That's going to definitely limit some people on what they can do. I'm going to upload here, and I'm going to upload my first NFT. 4 times more than OpenSea.
Yeah.
That's really good call out. So it's a 50 megabyte maximum on OpenSea because it's basically like the Costco of NFTs or some shit. If you do it kind of elsewhere, yeah, you know, you're maybe Walmart is better, yeah. Yeah. we support Costco here. We're big Costco people. So, all right. So our artwork title. Let's get creative. Shout outs from Chad in here. What should we call this thing? What ideas? Let me get ideas. What do we call this thing? What do we call this thing here? Riding the NF train. I like it. Okay. External URL. So if we want to put people, let's put them to imnotArt.com. Description of the artwork. This is the first ever NFT minted by imnotArt, and the first ever NFT live minted at imnotArt Chicago. This was minted during a live educational, let's call it experiment. I guess the best we can call it, maybe experiment.
During a live shit show.
Experiment on January 4th, 2022 to test minted during a live educational experiment as we created a manifold creator manifold smart contract together. This was fun. Okay. Additions. Anybody thoughts? 1 of 1? Do we have more? What's the level of interest in here? I think maybe just do it a 1 of 1. Do it a 1 of 1. Or I could sort of, I wonder if I could airdrop directly through this too, right? Why don't we try that? Why don't we make, well, we'll see, that gas cost will probably fucking like kill me. So let's just do 1 for now. Next time we'll do another demo. So we'll do 1. I'm the artist here. What is this? It says add property. Oh yeah, add property. Is NFT? Is there a Boolean or something here? Boost number? What is this? This is weird. Type number, boost number, boost percentage.
Yeah, so here's that. Here's the answer to that question that I said was 1 click away, 1,500 clicks ago. But this is where you can start to put in some of the metadata that would be seen in OpenSea, like you see the other ones. And in the documentation, which I'll have the links for you guys, and I think I linked it in here. I'll link the exact page, but they did give an example of what those look like in OpenSea. So let me get that together for you guys. We'll map us through this.
So yeah, I'm a little confused with the properties. Like if I want to add a new property, this is probably allowing me to put it above and below it or something. Or I don't know. It says text. But shouldn't there be like a second place where I can say like what the property is? Or I guess like, or there's like a category in a property, right? Property name, yeah. Oh, this is like, oh, that's embarrassing. Oh, well, we got feedback. We got feedback from the Manifold team. So property name is going to be is NFT, and the answer is yes. Yes. Okay. And then we're going to mint to testnet, like everything you do on Manifold. They want to make sure you don't fuck up. They want to make sure you don't waste gas. So mint to testnet. I like how they do that because that will save people some trouble. Again, it's wanting me to mint to rank B, so it's automatically triggering my manifold switch to rank B. I am going to switch to rank B. If I switched it, it is now validating that I switched to rank B. It does, it triggers another transaction from the rank B network saying I need to pay 0.000363. Can you imagine if this was the real price of gas? Can you even imagine? Continue. I can imagine, but it's just a dream at this point. So I am now waiting for that to confirm. It is confirming again the testnet transaction. So we will do that. I just got a browser notification saying it's confirmed. So now it's finalizing. Please wait, it takes a few minutes, confirm finalizing. I can view it on Rarible, view it on OpenSea. Now when it says that, this is not the real production Rarible or the production OpenSea. This is the testnet. So what's cool about OpenSea and Rarible is that they work with the Rinkeby testnet. So I can go in and I can see it. Now I'm going to look here, and this is going to be the NFT. My first reaction is I get scared. I'm like, why does it say number one and why is my image not there? Don't be scared. We learned this after launching our own smart contracts and getting scared ourselves. It takes a second for the information to sync. And so by default, it'll say basically the number of the token from your address. It looks like what Manifold does is it doesn't allow you to start with token 0. What's interesting is by default, you actually start with token 0 when you mint. And there's ways to specify if you want to have token 1 be it. It looks like Manifold takes that decision for you and says token 1 you mint for Manifold is going to be your first token. I'm going to refresh this and hopefully I'll start seeing some information. Riding the NF train. This is the first ever NFT minted by I'm Not Matt and the first ever NFT live minted I'm Not Art Chicago, minted during a live physical digital educational experiment, keyword experiment. This was fun. About I'm Not Matt, that's awkward. So we'll figure out how I can edit that stuff now. I'm assuming that properties. Is NFT? Yes. Artist, I'm Not Mad. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. Looks rare. Looks rare. Okay. So I'm good with this. Like, I think this looks right. It doesn't ask me for the collection information. Maybe it'll ask me that in the next step here. So I'm going to go here. My properties are good. This is all good. I'm not going to type anything because it's going to make me redeploy a testnet, but I'm going to review and finalize. And now it's giving me an option. Do I mint to self or do I airdrop it? That is pretty fucking cool. Mint to self. No, I'm curious what the costs are, honestly. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to go through the airdrop, but I want to see if it's the same thing here. So if I wanted to airdrop it to Neckbeard, I'm going to hit mint, and I'm not going to confirm it, right? It's going to ask me to change the mainnet. I won't neck. You're going to try to confuse me. So I'm going to switch the network to the main net here, and then it's going to trigger another transaction. Uploading file to Arweave. There it is. So it gives them credit. It tells them how it works. That's pretty cool. This demo, it's probably gonna go another 5, max 10 minutes. We'll do a little bit of questions at the end, just being cognizant of time. And our group wants to, we're gonna like go outside where it's safe and drink a beer or two. So we still got that kind of on the docket. So we're gonna finish up this demo and go with that. Uploading to Arweave, this can take a while. That's never a good sign. So we'll wait to see how this works here. It doesn't give you like Etherscan. If it's something that's kind of pending a transaction, you can always look at it. With Arweave, you have no visibility into what it is. Arweave, Zach, can you kind of explain what Arweave is?
So I just posted, sorry, real quick, I just posted St. Tripoli, what the different marketplaces are that, and it looks like Zora comes out of the box. So you're in luck. Yeah, so from my understanding, as White Lights was explaining it, and I didn't get a really good chance to research this, but I guess it is its own blockchain, and it's running in parallel. So when you're essentially using 2 blockchains here, and please someone speak up if I'm speaking out of tune here, but it's IPFS but true immutable. It's permanent on there, whereas IPFS, if you don't pay those fees, your stuff can get unpinned, and then that's a nightmare. And then you're changing the metadata on the contract, causing yourself gas. And from a creator's perspective, then you just hope that creator is around to be able to do that, or that they added an admin that can do that. So I'm not quite sure of the nuts and bolts of what was it? Arweave?
Arweave, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure the nuts and bolts of Arweave. If anyone does know the nuts and bolts of Arweave, Feel free to
Yeah,
chime
feel free to
in.
drop it
But
in the chat, or yeah, because we want to learn more about it. I think it's like it's clearly some technology that we need to be paying attention to, especially the way that Manifold is intertwining, and there could be some advantages over IPFS in different ways. Do you have something to add? Yeah.
I know you're kind of holding this for a long time, but say your projects are due at different times for each of them.
Yeah.
Like the guy talked about his calendar, each month it changes a little bit, day and night time.
Yep.
So is that something that we haven't gotten to yet, or is that where do we?
Yeah, they have these things called extensions. So I assume once we mint this token, we'll be able to see kind of what that looks like. So we'll go through this process. I had gone through as a test to see kind of what it would cost to airdrop it. It's around $92 with gas at 109. So I'm going to reject this transaction here because I want to mint it to my address. Then I can put it on sale here. So I'm going to hit reject. We'll see how this mint transaction rejected, mint again anytime. So I'm going to mint to self this time. We'll mint one token into this. Now it is telling me how much it's going to cost. So at 101, I'm curious if it costs more to mint to myself than airdrop. It looks like it's the same, $89. So I'm confirming. So whoever's keeping count, yikes, because I'm just like accepting and then moving on. That must be around $300 that we had to spend deploying the contract and minting our first token. So that is incredibly out of reach for the vast majority of our world. And so it shows you how early we are, and in many ways privileged to be able to kind of be interacting and doing this stuff. So it makes you really take a step back. So this transaction is minting and confirming. Doesn't give me an ability to click and look at the transaction, which would be pretty cool because usually if it's minting, but what I can do actually, oh, just confirm, so we're good. So it says ready to mint, but I already did that. View on OpenSea or view on Rarible. Now, when I view on OpenSea, it doesn't mean I'm selling on OpenSea. So I saw somebody had a question, what if you want to sell it on Zora, not on OpenSea? You can. So I'm viewing this on OpenSea. This is the mainnet OpenSea, not the testnet OpenSea. Writing the NF train is officially a token. You can see the way that the URLs work in OpenSea is that this is the contract address, so ending in 41, and this is the token ID, token 1. So if we go down here into details, contract address, token 1. So this is the first token ever minted from this contract. I am going to drop the link if anybody wants to look at it in chat here, so you get a sense of what it is. The properties is NFT, still yes. So going back into here, let's figure out what we can do with this, right? We can set royalties. Now, is this going to allow me to set royalties that are different than my default royalties? Probably, right? So it is, because if you look at the address, it's looking at asset this. This is some string that's just assigned the asset that I just created. So token royalties, you do not need to set this if you're okay with your contract royalties. Now, if I wanted to change this, I would have to pay another thing. So let's say I wanted to do, let me grab Neckbeard's thing just again. I know that I want to kind of be cognizant of time, but I do want to, let's see here, general. Where'd you send me your address, Nick? Oh, you put it in the chat, right? Okay, so yeah, next posting is address in the chat right now. I'm going to check that out. I'm going to grab it one more time just to do one more experiment on how much it would cost again just to do this, just so we get a sense again of how crazy it is. So let's say I want to give Neckbeard 10%, and that's going to be it. So if I hit save, again, this is an on-chain transaction because all this stuff is on-chain. And I'm waiting. Gas is 113, it's $50. So last time I think it was around the same amount. So it's about $50 to change like your royalty stuff. Again, we've already racked up $300 here. So I think I'm fine with the default royalties. I'm okay giving NEC the 2.5% by default. So I'm going back here to my thing. I can update the token metadata. That's pretty cool. That's going to cost a transaction as well. But if I ever wanted to update something, looks like we have to sign first. This probably isn't paying gas yet, I assume. Oh, it looks like I have to pay a little gas even to start setting that up. So there might be 2 transactions to do that. I'm not going to do that right now. So I can view it on OpenSea, I can view it on Rarible. That appears to be what I can do. Now, if I click back, it's going to show me, or wait, I already minted it. So let me go to my, click here on my contract. Connect again. Let's see, I'm signing in. That doesn't cost you anything just to sign in, but this should give me my contract here. I should be able to go to my tokens. And then let's see if we can start extending them, right? So here's a couple symbols underneath my NFT, riding the NF train. If I click this, I'm wondering if it's going to allow me to do anything. No, that's just standard. This is just a different way to view it. Let me click this. Oh, this is looking at it on Rarible or on OpenSea or one of those other things. But I'm not seeing kind of where the extensions are, or kind of how that really works. So
the extensions, per the documentation, and like Jeff had mentioned and corrected me, rightfully corrected me. Where's the exact documentation here? Extensions are not currently supported. To leverage extensions, you'll need to develop and deploy your own extensions via code. And in the documents that in the document I'm making, that's kind of going through some of the questions and answers and hitting you guys with the links. This will be a part of that. You'll see the question, and they have a pretty decent Google or not Google, like Dropbox document filled with various extensions and a little bit more information on those extensions. So I'll link you guys to that.
Perfect. Yeah, and we're going to follow up also, like Nick said, with all those links to all the information that we talked about today. But I think this pretty much is at the end, or like the last kind of piece of the demo. So we've got an NFT that's been minted. Thank you again, everybody, for contributing in the photo, the title, and all that stuff here. We can view it here on OpenSea, but it doesn't mean I have to sell it on OpenSea. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to log in to I'm not Matt, and then I'm going to sort it by recently received. So I have this. I'm not Matt riding the NFT train. If I want to sell it, the assets in the thing. So I hit sell, and then I can sell it. I want a time auction, a fixed price, or whatever I want to do. OpenSea again takes some effort. So that's one option. But I don't like OpenSea. Don't tell anybody. But I do like Zora. So I want to go to Zora. Once it's for sale, you can take it down and then you can list it somewhere else. So yeah, that's what's cool, is that like with Manifold, I can create my NFT. Now I can put it wherever I want. If I want to put it on Foundation, if I want to put it on OpenSea, if I want to use a Zora thing. So now I'm loading the Zora thing. I'm going to connect my wallet, connect. It's going to ask me to sign the transaction. Yep. Yeah. Once it's sold on one platform, the asset will still stay here on OpenSea, but it will say I no longer own it, somebody else will, and then in the activity history it'll show who it went to. Yeah. If it was one thing that you had for sale. So I think that's pretty much it. I think we're gonna end up wrapping it here. This is taking a little bit on Zora, but the same idea would happen once you're able to log in, is that you'd be able to find any assets that are in your wallet and you can put it up for sale. That's why we really love Zora. It truly is like a decentralized marketplace. Let's see if I can do this one more time here. End the demo out strong, where we're gonna give it another 30 seconds. Let's see. Nope, Zorbs are no longer minted. So this is sign. Okay, I'm good with that. Come on. All right, connect wallet, connect. Now it's asking me to do the signature so that it knows it's me. Normal shit. Oh, baby. Live demos. Tippy made an offer on the Rinkby version. That's what I'm talking about. Big time, Tippy. All right, so now I'm going to sign here, and then hopefully this works this time. I don't know why it's taking so long. I think my computer has had enough of me for today. So I'm logged in here. And now let's say I want to mint something on Zora. So I'm going to go to my, or it's probably the plus sign. So I hit the plus sign, mint new NFT or list for sale. I've already minted it. I've minted it. I've paid. I certainly paid for it. So I'm going to list for sale here. And now it's looking at these NFTs that I just got. But where's my latest one? I'm not seeing it. Maybe Zora takes a second to update, so it can't see it yet. But it 100% should be seeing it because I have this NFT in here. So I don't know why I can't see it, or that's maybe a question for another day. But that's Manifold. I think we can kind of wrap it like there. What we did is we took you guys through the Manifold website, talked a little bit about what Manifold is. For people that have been with us since 5 p.m., thank you. It's been a fucking marathon. I hope you guys learned a lot. I definitely learned a lot. Thank you again, everybody here physically in Chicago. We're in the middle of this kind of pandemic, so we really had to kind of change a little bit the gallery experience, not allowing people to drink in the gallery, having them drink outside. less people, but definitely appreciate you guys for signing up and showing up. It's this community that keeps us going. And everybody on Zoom, this is the first time we did this, and the experiment I think is working. So I really just want to thank everybody for attending. We're going to be doing more of these in the future, not just about manifolds, but probably some more stuff about manifold with all with the questions and things that people have. Just because we went a little late here in the gallery, we're going to wrap it up. If people do have questions, please join our Discord. In our Discord, we'll be answering any questions that you may have. And so a lot of great questions in the chat. I think we can also write those down as we send something out next. I can kind of have an explainer about what we talked about and everything there. So just wanted to give one last thank you to everybody who joined. And I think we can shut this thing down. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys learned. I definitely did. Nick, you got any final words? I don't know if it saves the chat. I bet it does. I think there's ways we can probably copy it. I'm sure we recorded it. It definitely changes the cat. Guys, thank you. Appreciate everybody who is here. The next event is probably going to be on next Tuesday. We do Community Tuesdays. So we're going to sort of keep this going. And we appreciate you guys here in Chicago online. I'm going to end this. Peace.